computer system. So what is a computer first of all? Which is nothing but an electronic device. Also you can call it as a smart machine. So what is the reason that we call it as a smart machine first of all? It is because everything around us involves technology. So whatever we do nowadays, we cannot do anything without the computer. We are completely dependent on computer, whether you're withdrawing money from the ATM, or you're searching for some information, or you're traveling somewhere and you could make use of a map to travel from one place to other place, or to find the destination, or diagnosis of diseases, or paying the electricity bills or telephone bills, or booking a ticket online. Everything has become dependent. Everything we are depending completely on computers. So without the computers we cannot do anything nowadays. So that is the reason we are calling it as a smart machine. Not only in the day-to-day life, but even a student's life nowadays has started to revolve around computers as well as the smartphones. So those who couldn't afford the computers, they are making use of their smartphones as a computer. So computers has faced a very drastic change through its from its early stages till now. So in the early stages when the computers was invented, what happened? They used the computer only for the purpose of calculation. Later it has faced a drastic change throughout the ages, and now even in a smartphone itself we can meet all our needs with the help of the smartphone. It is not a compulsion, or it is not necessary at all to carry the laptop wherever we go, that we have done few decades ago. So it is much enough if you have a smartphone in your hand to pay all your bills, or if you want to search for any information, or whether clicking photos, or if you want to upload any information, or if you want to download any information, even a file transfer, everything you can do with the help of the computer. So it has become much more compatible nowadays. So that much it has brought a very great impact in our day-to-day life. So let us see this definition of computer. What is a computer system? It is an electronic device that can be programmed to accept data in the form of input or instructions, process it, and generate result, which is the output. It might seem little difficult if you try to understand this definition, but I'll say it in very simple words. A computer, how does it work? First of all, you can compare with a robot. So how does a robot works? Only when you give some instruction, the robot will work, right? If you're not going to give any instruction to the robot, it will not do any work, it will just remain idle. It is much similar to the computer. Only when you're going to work with a computer, or if you're going to give any instruction to the computer will work. Otherwise, it will remain idle. So instruction, in the sense, it is not that you're going to communicate, or you're not going to talk. A mouse is an input device. So with the mouse, what are you doing? You're just making a click on the game icon. So instruction is being sent to the computer for processing. This process takes place in the particular place called CPU. So the CPU will process all the instructions which you are giving to the computer, and once the instructions has been processed, the final result will be displayed on the monitor, which is the output. So this is how a computer will work. Now you got it. Now a computer along with additional hardware and software together is called a computer system. So together with all the hardware and software, which means I have told this as peripherals. So with all the parts together, with all the parts which has been connected together, not only the peripherals, without the peripherals also a computer can work. But without a hardware or without a software, a computer cannot work. So the hardware and software together will make a computer to work. That represents a computer system. I hope you understood this concept. Now let us see how does a computer work. So see here, the working of a computer. It can be expressed as an equation like data, processing, and information. So what is meant by a data? A data is nothing but the raw figures which has been given here. See here, this 106, 125, 169. Just by seeing these numbers, you will not be able to understand for what purpose they have given these numbers, right? But when we process this into some useful information, or when we represent this in a more meaningful way, we will be able to understand for what these data has been given. Our data is nothing but a raw information. So without any meaning, whether a data has been given, that represents a raw information, which is the data. So data means a raw information. So here processing. So processing represents some kind of meaningful information is going to be provided to the data which has been given here. So what they have done here is, these numbers has been represented as roll number, and these numbers has been represented as marks. Now if you look at this tabular column, you are able to understand, okay, these are the mark list of the students in a particular class. So now you have got a clear, meaningful information. So the data, the raw data which has been processed into a useful information, that represents how a computer works actually. So data processing and information. And this data processing and information is also represented as IPO cycle. So what is meant by an IPO cycle? IPO cycle is nothing but information, processing and cycle. Please listen carefully. Information, which is the data which you have here, and processing, what are you going to do with the data which you have, whether you're going to represent it in a meaningful form or whether you're going to do some calculation, that represents processing. And information at last, which is the output which you receive, that represents information. And this information processing cycle can also be represented as input, process, output. I'll tell you. So input, process, output cycle, or information processing cycle. So you can represent in both the forms. So what is an input? What will you do first of all? With the help of the keyboard or mouse, you will give some instructions to the computer. That is, either if you want to work with MS Word document, you will type an essay or a paragraph, or whether you want to do some documentation in MS Word, you will keep pressing all the characters or the special symbols, everything. So what is happening there? Each and every letter which you press will send a signal to the CPU, that is, it will process it, and in turn that will be displayed on the monitor. This is how it works. So you are sending an input as a data or instruction to the computer, and the CPU will process all the data which you have sent through the input units, and finally the output will be displayed on the monitor, or else a printer or a speaker if it is going to be a audio data. So it depends on what data you're going to give. This is how a computer works actually. I hope you understood this concept. Now let us see what are the basic components of a computer. So what are the basic components? In the very first video we have discussed about this. Like a computer system consists of hardware and software. So without a hardware you cannot work with a computer, or without a software you cannot work with a computer. You need both the things together to work with the computer. These are the main components of a computer system. So a hardware means, already I have told you, which is the physical components of a computer. So physical components means the things which you can be able to touch and feel, like your motherboard, the memory devices like USB drive or hard disk drive, then monitor, keyboard, everything comes under hardware. And what is a software then? It is a set of programs or instructions. So a program or instruction means it is not that you have to sit and type continuously so many lines of code and all. Each and every application which you see in your computer represents a software. For example, your MS Word application or PowerPoint presentation, or it can be any games related software. So anything, it can be whatever applications which you use in your computer, whatever softwares which you use in your computer comes under a software. Not only the programs which you work like C or C++ and all. So whatever applications which you use, even a recycle bin, that is also a software. So everything comes under the applications which you see in your computer, on your desktop, or else the files and folders which you see, everything comes under the concept software. So together, only with the help of the hardware and software together, that forms a computer system. And here again they are repeating about this in IPO cycle which we have discussed just now. So IPO, input, process, output, which I have told you right now. Even you can call this as information processing. I'll show you. information processing cycle, and even you can represent this as IPO cycle, that is input process and output cycle. So what will happen here, which we have already discussed, the data in the form of input, you will send it to the computer with the help of a keyboard or a mouse, and then it will be processed with the help of CPU. Once the processing gets over, that will be displayed on the monitor or any other output devices, which gives you a meaningful information. So till the process gets over, what will happen, the storage, which is the memory unit, it will hold the data and instructions during this processing. To understand it even more in a simple way, I'll show you. See here, for example, in this calculator, I'm working here 3 plus 5 equal to 8. So this 3 represents a raw number, a raw information, and this 5 is another number. If 3 and 5 has been given without this plus, you will consider it as just as a number. But if you are going to do some process, you are using an operator plus here. So whether you are adding or multiplying or doing subtraction or division, whatever process you wish to do, you can do it. So this represents a process. Now you understood. So 3 and 5 can be considered just as a number, but when you combine together using an operator, this can be represented as a process. So when you process the data along with this operator, you will get the meaningful information as the result. So this represents an IPO cycle. Clear? And now we are going to discuss about the central processing unit. So if you look at the central processing unit, which is much similar to the IPO cycle which we have discussed, or else even you can consider the same IPO cycle as well as the computer system. So which is much similar. The only thing is they have given here 3 different units which are there inside the CPU, and what is the use of those 3 different units. For example, if you look at input, whatever data and instructions you wanted to give it to the computer, you will give it through input unit. And what will happen, once the instruction has been given, it will start to get processed under the CPU. So the processing takes part only in the CPU part. So CPU means central processing unit. In CPU you have control unit, arithmetic and logic unit, and registers. So control unit, the working of control unit is it will control the flow of data which comes inside the CPU. For example, if I'm trying to open MS Word document, that MS Word document gets opened first. And again, if I'm going to open PowerPoint presentation, after MS Word document simultaneously, then PowerPoint presentation gets opened. So it will sequence, it will keep everything in an order. It will maintain the flow of data, whatever you're trying to work on it. So the flow of data will be controlled by the control unit. And arithmetic and logic unit, all the mathematical calculations like addition, subtraction, that represents arithmetic unit. All the arithmetic and logical calculations will be managed by this arithmetic and logic unit. And this register represents the memory. So till the process gets over, the things get stored temporarily in the register, and once the output gets displayed, the output as well as the data which you have stored here temporarily, everything gets saved in your files and folders. So this is how the functional components of a computer system will work. Then we are going to discuss about input unit. So what is meant by an input unit? Which is nothing but we make use of many different types of input devices like keyboard, mouse, scanner, touchscreen, whatever the input devices through which we give some input to the system. So when you give some input to the system, what will happen? If I'm going to open particular file or folder, I will make use of my mouse. Or if I'm going to type something in MS Word document, I will type with the help of the keyboard. So I'm sending some instruction to the computer. That will be handled by the computer in the form, it will accept all the input and it will convert it into a binary form. The processing takes place, right? In that processing, what will happen? Whatever instructions you have given will be converted into the binary form so that it can be understood by the computer. And because the computer can understand only the binary language which I have told you already. So binary language consists of only 2 numbers, 0 and 1. So everything gets converted into the binary numbers, and in turn, once the process gets over, that will be again translated into the high level language called English, and then it gets displayed on the monitor. That is how the input unit will send the data and instructions up to the processing to the CPU. So this input unit, it comprises of input devices attached to the computer. So what are the input devices that comes under input unit? If you see, keyboard, mouse, scanner, touchscreen, light pen, smart card reader or barcode reader, QR code reader. So all these things you might have heard of. Keyboard and mouse, we have discussed a lot about this. In mouse, two different types of mouses are there, like optical mouse, which we are using nowadays, and a few decades ago we have used like a trackball mouse, where it works with the help of the ball which is fixed under the mouse. Based on the movement of the ball, the mouse pointer will move around the screen. And scanner, you know very well, to scan the documents and to transfer it to the system, we make use of the scanner. Then touch screen, which we know very well that we are using in the smartphones nowadays. Even laptops are also available with a touchscreen monitor. And then light pen, which looks much similar to a pen, which consists of a photo cell near the tip of the pen. So if you want to draw some figures, or if you want to draw some sketch on the screen itself, you can make use of a light pen to draw any pictures you wanted to draw on the monitor. And then smart card reader, for example your debit cards, credit cards, and then ID cards, which can be used as strong security authentication in many big companies. For that we can make for many different purposes we are making use of it. And apart from that, barcode reader, in many provisional shops or else in many shopping malls you would have noticed this barcode reader. Then QR code reader, even with the help of the QR code you can scan instead of typing the whole website address. So all these things has made our work much easier. So biometric sensor, it makes use of the behavioral traits or else the fingerprints or retina of our eye. So everything, it makes use of all the characteristic and behavioral traits of a body. So all these things has made a drastic change nowadays. And binary means, I have told you, the numbers that zeros and ones. So zeros and ones, 1 will be represented as on and 0 will be represented as off. That is on and off state, or even you can represent this as high and low voltage. So high voltage represents 1 and low voltage represents 0. So this is how we use these terms in computers. So binary means those two states, 1 and 0. The binary numbers are 1 and 0, and 1 represents on, 0 represents off. This can also be represented as high voltage or low voltage. So here for your reference, some of the input devices I am showing here. The touch screen, which you can see in many shopping malls, theaters, and even ATM, which we are using to withdraw money. So everywhere we are using touch screens nowadays. Then camera, which is an input device, and then scanner, microphone, trackball, webcam, a joystick which we use for playing video games, keyboard, mouse. So all these things are examples of input devices. So I hope you understood this class. Let us meet in the next class, children. Thank you.